Good evening, Masters. Welcome you all to day 5 of 11-day healing and transformation workshop. So I think let's begin our recap of yesterday's session. A very beautiful session. Sir explained about karma. So I'll be highlighting, the highlights of yesterday's recap. So karma is not a punishment, but it's an opportunity to learn. Anything that comes into our life repetitively, that becomes a pattern. Potentially is a karmic debt. Karma is basically an unconscious reaction that is repeating itself. If we go deeply to analyze it, it is a combination of action plus memory plus reaction. But one thing what we should do to relieve is first we need to accept it, then learn from it, and grow out of it. So every experience in our lives leaves an impression. Every impression is nothing but we call it as a samskara. And whenever there is an unresolved impression in our lives, it creates a pattern. So that is the cycle of karma. Karma of pattern, it creates is what constitutes, cycle of pattern, what it creates is constitutes the karma. So first we have to drop the idea of karma as punishment. Instead, we should understand that karma is there for our growth. It is coming to us to learn and make a better version of ourselves. And that is the whole and sole purpose of karma. So what law of karma is talking about is if we don't accept that it is for our own growth, then there is no growth, no development. There is absolutely no new version of us. So life happens to all of us all the time. So life doesn't repeat. Instead, our unconscious patterns repeats what we created to ourselves. That cycle repeats and we feel like the life became very mechanical because the patterns keep repeating again and again in our lives. So let's analyze what happens when an event occurs in our life. We react unconsciously, and that moment a neural imprint forms within our system. When the same triggering appears again and again, we will react in the same way. So when that happens repetitively for some time, then that is what we call it as a personality. And when it becomes our personality, that becomes our destiny. So by this perspective, we can call karma as memory in motion. So we can ask this question, like, is there any end to it? Yes, there is an end to it if we recognize it. If we recognize it, it goes off after some time. Anil sir also gave us like a few practical, made us do some practical exercises of real time, like how to recognize the patterns in our life and how to observe them in order to relieve them. So bottom line, karma can be dissolved when we observe the patterns happening to us with awareness. So these are the couple of points, masters, I have highlighted from yesterday's recap. So I think...
Can I ask a question related to that, or since it's a recap, we are not allowed? Just checking.
Yeah, sure. I'll try
Okay.
if I can answer.
Okay. So yeah, if we observe the pattern, we are not reacting to it, but we are in the awareness that we accept it. But it continues to happen, right? I mean, even though we are in the awareness, we don't react, and we recognize the pattern. How do we overcome it? How do we end that?
Yeah, so because the awareness and the observation, if we do once or twice, because it's keep on repeating, right? So it won't happen like then and there. We need to keep observing for a couple of times. Then there's a chance of definitely it will dissolve. At least whatever it might be happening, but it won't come to us. Our heart, like our mental status, we won't. We will be in such a energies form that we don't really feel anything, even if that happens. And that way, after some times, it will be dissolved.
Okay.
Yeah, hope you got the answer.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. Think Anil sir? Let's wait for a minute so that sir comes and we can start our day 5 session.
Thank you for sharing the recorded sessions, Andy. It's so helpful. I'll make sure I won't miss from here onwards. But I'm also interested in listening to yesterday's session related to karma.
Yeah, that was really beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, madam,
I
I'm not sure if you joined yesterday, but
mhm,
please make sure to join every day, right?
right,
These are live sessions. Only if you get this experience in live, that will be the difference. Recorded sessions, it's
right.
fine, but you will not get that connection and all your questions answered and all of that. So please join.
Yeah, totally agreed. I'll make sure I won't miss from here onwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Savita Garu, I'm Lakshmi. I'm one of the Zoom user. I've been attending every day. But I want to listen to, this is kind of an important, very personal topic for me. I want to listen to them 3-4 times to get the kind of understanding of these sessions. So is it possible
Sure,
to
Andy.
share?
Yeah, but the videos are being edited in India.
Uh-huh.
So definitely, yeah, it may take a day or two, but
Yeah.
definitely we'll share as soon as we get it.
Yeah. So because I need to listen to them 2-3 times to understand the concept.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not,
it's
yeah,
yes, it's been a practical, like it's very good, but I think
correct.
theory to reinforce it, because these transformation can happen only if we practice it.
Correct.
So that's
That's
why.
true.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one other thing, masters, just a quick reminder, right? Every day we do have these sessions for 11 days, but on the day 10, we want to exclusively focus on Q&A. So as you start experiencing all of this and keep going on your journey in this 10 days, so please make sure to write down your questions at any point of time during the day, as you are hearing, as you are practicing meditation, as you are doing the other activities. Please note down your questions, because that 1 hour will be exclusive for only Q&A, 1.5 hour on the day, which is the 10th day, that is the 14th upcoming week. Okay. Yeah, and Sharda ma'am, we will get you all the recordings. So please bear with us, but make sure you attend all the sessions, right? I mean, recordings is a secondary option. First thing is try to attend as much as possible. Thank you.
Yeah, because live sessions have its own vibration and high energies. So definitely we'll be encourage you all to join live.
All right. Thank you.
So let's welcome Anil sir to day 5 with another interesting and exciting topic. Sir, over to you.
Yes, madam. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for the overview and thanks for bringing the team together. Apologies, I was a couple of minutes late. I totally got lost in the time. Again, it is not an excuse for me to be late here. It just happened. So we've had a very beautiful conversations and discussions and then practical experience. I'm kind of hopeful or trust that you are seeing this different than other sessions that you have attended, right? I mean, the idea is to give you that first-hand experience so that you start to see how this is gonna come in life or line for you. You know, every one of you will have your own connection. Don't try to compare with others. Hey, how this is going for you, how it is going for me, because when you have your own, that's the reason, right? Part of it is we are asking you to join live so that you can get that experience. The more you have this direct experience in one of the sessions, the deeper your capability and opportunity for you to become sincere and start to see the shift in your life. Only when you see the shift in your life, you will start to really feel happy, peaceful, you know, all that, whatever we were talking the other day, right? So, like, you know, we were talking, yesterday we were talking about karmic process, right? So one of the key things that we all try to bring into our life and which we don't understand and we try to kind of patronize is karma. So we understood how karma works. Today we'll go a little further into the karma, the one and only one that keeps us, you know, worried all the time or takes us into the mode of future life, right? Every one of us is having some level of uncertainty in our life. And we are all trying to figure out how do I bring that uncertainty so that I know that uncertainty so that I can plan towards it, right? And that's the most important thing what we're going to solve today, right? We're going to talk about ego, we're going to talk about fear, and then we're going to talk about the control aspect of it. Why is that my ego always want to have control? That is what we're going to talk about. And then we're going to experiment it. Let us become the spiritual, you know, see, there are two ways to look at it, right? There is science that talks about material aspect of it, and there is a science that talks about the spiritual aspect of it. But when you start to become more spiritual, your material science is also part of it. That's why spiritual science is most important. For us to be a spiritual aspirant or spiritual seeker, you have to have the temperament, spiritual temperament or scientific temperament that, you know, why should I believe something that's been put out there? Why don't I experiment it on my own and try to see how do I bring it together, right? That kind of attitude is what is needed for us to make that practically experiencing it. That is what we call direct experience. Nothing can beat the direct experience. That's why in the last 4 days, and today probably is the last day that we talk about these aspects of the healing. Then we slowly move into the aspects of transformation, right? So now the philosophy and the psychology of what ego is all about, right? What we'll do is we'll not talk about the definition of ego. We all know about it, right? What we'll do is we'll try to understand, we'll examine the structure of ego. We'll try to see what this is all about, right? There is also a misconception that is out there that I have to destroy my ego. I have to be very humble. I have to be very down to earth. I have to be grounded. You know, it is not that you have to destroy your ego. What you need to do is you need to understand it. The most important point is you need to understand your ego. At what level the ego works, how it works, when and where, right? So don't look at ego as something, as a problem or it's a evil, you know, I don't want to I'm keep expressing I cannot control my ego. Don't do that. Ego is needed for the survival strategy. It is very much required to survive in this world. You need ego. You need to have a identity, but that identity cannot take you over. That's the most important one. If my identity is taking me over, then I'm mentally stuck, right? So if I put a perspective, what this ego, the version of me that I am carrying, is a mental image of me, is ego. How does my ego build? It builds on multiple different things. The role I play, the achievements I have, the comparisons that I do, the judgments I make, the success I get in life, the memories I carry from the past, right? How is everybody looking at me? Am I beautiful compared to others? Am I safe in relation to life? Am I respected in the society? Am I the important one? I carry so much knowledge. Why is that others not bowing to me? All this is ego. So what we are trying to do is we're trying to picture this mental image of me today and trying to see why this mental image of me is the core of all problems. We talked about so many different aspects. Okay, I have this problem, I have that problem, I have, so many things going on in my life. Everything you will be able to overcome it. But the one thing that takes a lot of time is ego. Every one of us in our spiritual progress will come and get stuck at ego. This is the false sense of I, the so-called I, created by my identification. When does this become a problem? When does my ego becomes a problem? When I believe it is me. When you believe that your ego is what you are, is when it becomes a problem. Otherwise, it has no problem. Unfortunately, that's what happens in the material world. You always try to associate, you always try to figure, you always try to look for that ego. Where does that exist? Either inside or outside. My identity, the fear of being ignored, right? Identity-based ego, knowledge-based ego, I know better. Fear of being wrong. Control. Things must go my way. Very natural thing that happens in families, right? Fear of uncertainty. Image, the name and fame aspect of it. What will people think of it? Fear of rejection. Fear of societal status. So what is ego trying to do is, it is a mental image. It is always trying to protect something that is not real in my mental space. This is very, very important. Recognize that ego is not something real. It is only happening here. If I am able to understand this whole concept, then I'm able to really balance it to the ask or to the need of it. I'm doing a session today right now. Right now, a session is going on. Somebody interrupts me in a meeting, right? Boom. What happens? You interrupted me in the meeting. I wouldn't say it out loud, but inside my body, chemical reaction is going up. My heat is getting generated. What is going on? You guys only gave me 1 hour. All that 15 minutes is over. What is going on? I need to really get to the point. Like lot of churning is going on inside me. They don't respect me. I'll go to that point too at some point. I've been talking for last 4 days. We have been used to this 1 hour pattern, but still they don't see it. Why is that? That impulse to defend. That is ego protecting identity. Again, I'm not going to do all that. So I'm not in the ego space, so I'm not going to do it. But I'm just giving an example. Instead of putting it on one of you, I'm just taking it on me. How it can trigger, it comes in different forms. It comes in different ways. It's not like one time I handled ego, then I championed it. No. It keeps attacking you until you come to terms with it. to say that, okay, this is how ego is. Okay, then in all situations, all circumstances, I'll try to balance it. That's the beauty here, right? That is why truth is very, very important. When I must defend myself is an aspect of ego. My identity feels threatened is the concept of truth. The identity is feeling threatened. I am not the one carried away with it. That is, there is so much difference between that. The illusion aspect of ego and the truth that carries with it, they are totally different. If I lose control here, I lose, everything collapses in my life, right? We always have this, that I have to hold on to 10 things, without these 10 things, I may not have what I'm looking for, right? So much control you want. Control, if you are in the life of truth, if you understand awareness is the most important aspect, then you quickly realize that control is nothing but a fear management. Inside you have a lot of fear, unknown fear. You're afraid that by letting it go, you're going to lose. That's a fear. You're trying to figure it out. How do I make it more meaningful? How do I make it more, it can be irrational sometimes, right? So if you really look at it, if I put some context between the ego and the fear, if I try to bring them together, right? Now I'm actually getting into the next topic. I want to touch on fear as well, right? So behind the concept of ego, if you really look at it, there is some form of fear, always. And behind every fear, there is some form or a need of a control. You can examine in your own lives if you want. You will easily kind of relate it. The cycle of how this works is when I have my ego, there is some form of fear. There is a fear of some form, right? And with some form of fear, if I look at that fear, why that is fear is because there is an aspect of control, a need of a control. Something you're losing, something you may not have it, something you probably, need to get it, but you don't know how to get, there is some form of control, and that control creates a suffering. The root of suffering comes from that, right? So fear of losing respect, let's take, right? Fear of losing respect is basically, what does that fear of losing respect, what is my control in that is, it's a controlling behavior, right? I want to be respected is I want everyone to behave in a way that when somebody is in the room with the higher authority, everybody's attention is going to come together and then, hey, do this, do that kind of a thing. Why is that? Because there is something in underneath me that if I don't have it, then I cannot enjoy the fruits of it. Lack of knowledge, lack of understanding. Same thing. Fear of uncertainty. You plan for future. You do things in a very, I would say, you plan things meticulously. You go to the nth level details and do all that. But if you start to look at it, what does this mean? In the present, you plan for next 5 years. You make this is how it should be, that is how it should be, and all that. Isn't it overthinking? At that very moment, you have nothing about the plan, right? We are all friends. We are all grouped together. We all sit together. We all have fun. And the fear of rejection, right? Suddenly you feel like, it's a people-pleasing thing, in the neighborhoods, we all feel that. In our social status, you feel that if I don't do this, they may think that I'm out of it, right? Societal status. Why is these fears coming my way? These fears are very, very powerful because they are helping me to shape my day. I'm not living my life the way I want to live. These conditions are making me to live like the way I need to live, not the way I want to live. It is a totally different life. If I give you a choice how to live without any conditions, then you probably will say, no, this is not the life I want. How many of us are really working? Working and doing your job in a very sincere way. You are heartfully enjoying it. You have happiness, you have peace in your job. Hardly you will find anybody. Right? We are conditioned to kind of, that's why go, do it for now, do it. Even with kids, we do the same thing, right? So when control, right? Control is the ego's attempt, right? To create that safety in an uncertain circumstances. You always have to understand when the ego is an attempt to the control, what control is doing is it is creating that ego's attempt to create a safety parameter in that uncertain world. It is very uncertain, but it is trying to create that parameter, and then we are falling for it every time because it's the mental space. It is happening here. It's a mental image of me. So if I put this perspective, okay, how fear can be looked at? Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of invisibility, fear of loss of control. Ego is building, and making me feel like I'm not the person. You go to your job, your boss is macro-managing you. Why is he macro-managing you? Fear. He's afraid. Why, companies are asking you to overplan things? Fear of unknown. Why your meetings, you have been asked to over-explain again and again, same concept. Fear of not understanding. Why in a group discussions, why in a competition, you always have to have the winning argument, winning status? Because you're afraid if you lose, then you won't stand a chance. So let us ask this question. I want to have, all of these things, whatever we just spoke about, are the fear-based fear mongers, right? We are not really living as, we worship God with fear on the platform of fear. The worship of God is supposed to happen in the platform of love, compassion, devotion, not on the fear. Unfortunately, that's the reality. So please take your pen and paper. Let's talk about this one interactive reflection. Let's look at it yourself, trying to understand, okay, what do I try hardest to control? Get your silence to work. What do I try hardest to control? Just think, what do I try hardest to control? What is the one thing that you are trying hard to control? Control of power? And why you think that is the case? Why? Because you will lose something, okay, I control power, I want power, okay, I want, recognition in the society, okay, that's good. Why? What do you do? So try to put that perspective, try to just bring it out from you, right? Why am I even trying to do that? Just face it. Just reflect upon it, just for your own case, right? I mean, you're not gonna speak here, we're not asking you to display or anything. It's just for your own reflection. Try to see, right, okay, what is that one thing I'm trying to control? And why am I doing that? Very important to, have the introspection once in a while. Anything you control, it becomes out of control. Right? When you try to control your breath forcefully, try doing that. What happens? You'll become uncomfortable. So why do you think when you are trying to control something in your life will not become uncomfortable? When my breath is becoming uncomfortable, in my life, if I'm trying to control things, why would they not become uncomfortable? Because whatever you try to control, it becomes uncomfortable. That's the nature. As simple as that. Because you are fixated in your mind. The reality is something else. You are fixated in your mind that without that I cannot proceed. You created a condition for yourself and you're operating with that condition. Then you will naturally you lost the touch of living life. So what happens? You lose your authenticity. The moment you lose your authenticity, you are controlled by one of these mongers, and then you go on and on, go on and on and on and on. There is no end to it. That's how my anxieties get enhanced. I get a lot of stress because of that. Right? There is no natural rhythm in my life. Is there anywhere anyone said you got to control your breath? No. I'm doing it because my actions are forcing me to control my breath. So the more and more we start to release and more we start to understand the concept as to how I need to bring it together, is how we start to look at it to say, okay, this is what is happening to me, and this is how I need to bring my life in line. No one is saying that ego is a bad thing. You should not have it. But what you should not have is the mental image of you getting carried away all the time in every movement. Because in that moment to moment carry away, you are lost. Your identity is lost. Your purpose is lost. And since you don't have you don't have the real identity, you don't have the real purpose, what remains is the illusion, the phobia, the drama. When those things come and play with you, that's how stress, anxiety, all the illnesses come out of that. They start in the mental piece, psychosomatic, right? They start in the mental space. 95% of the illnesses can be cured with mental knowledge. Just by knowledge, you can cure it. By understanding, by knowing, psychosomatic. So let us do a quick experiment. How do we spot an ego, right? Let us take off the glasses, just sit. We'll just do very short kind of a thing, I don't want to take too much time, but wanted to give you that opportunity to see, now here, don't feel uncomfortable, because we are trying to bring that aspect of your mind where a particular situation where you felt disturbed, right? That's how you bring the ego, right? And you wanted to see how did you feel, what you do to control it, and ask the deep questions and all. Just close your eyes. Just be yourself. Just observe your breath. Just relax yourself. Don't try to force anything. Just let it happen, everything. Just take a normal breath. Very cool, light. No, don't put your mind on thoughts. Just relax. Now recall, let's trigger your mind to recall a recent situation you have dealt with where you felt little disturbed, right? Whenever you recall that incident or the recent situation, how is your reaction to it? Observe the reaction. Ask the question, what did I feel right now? What did I want to control in that situation? What were you trying to control? Now let us identify the ego aspect of it. What was I trying to protect? You're trying to protect your image, your respect, being right, being in control. How do you see that? Just what was that you're protecting? The me that you are protecting, the me image of your mind that you're protecting right now. If that me is not there, would that suffering still exist? Think about it. If that identity of me in my mind, mental space is not there for that protection, what I just protected, will suffering still exist? You will quickly realize that you have just begin to see your ego directly. You just faced your ego directly. Now let us take to the next level. Let us take the opportunity to see fear as energy. When we talk about fear is not the reality, what is fear? Let us experience that fear as energy, not reality. Just bring up something, whatever is the current fear that you have. Bring a current fear into your awareness. Just something, future uncertainty, health, relationship, some failures, some kind of things not happening your way, whatever that one thing. As you bring that in your awareness, just don't go into the story. No story. Don't create story after you get that fear. Just recognize that fear and then feel the body. How is your body feeling right now when you are with that fear? Ask the question, where is the fear in the body? Just ask the question. Head, chest, stomach, throat, legs, foot, hands, wherever. Don't think, just feel, just feel. Let the sensation be there. Be with the sensation. In the deep silence, be with the sensation. So as you experience it, you will see fear is nothing but a physical sensation less your thought story that you are trying to build. Just be with it. This is a direct experience as to how you see the fear as energy in the body. Now let's go into how do I drop my, because fear is coming because of control. So now let's get into the control aspect of it. Let us, because it is the control that is creating the tension. And the surrender to the movement creates a freedom. Right? So while you are at it, in your state right now, just bring one situation or event or incident that you are trying to control. What is the one thing that you're trying to control right now? Just bring it on. Be there. I will walk you through step by step to let go of that. Right? Let's see how it will be when you let it go. Can you allow it as it is? Just allow it as it is, the control. Slowly, can you stop controlling the outcome of it, whatever that you are going through? Just for this one moment while you are here, just for now, can you trust life? Just tell yourself inside, I don't need to control this. Just tell yourself, I don't need to control this. I allow life to unfold on its own, and I trust the process. You will see a shift. It's a beautiful shift. Just be in that state. Let it happen. Just be in that state. I don't need to control this. I allow life to unfold on its own. I trust the process. Slowly, you will start to see and experience a great relief when your control drops. When you let go, you will feel relieved. Slowly, last 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly come out of it. How did you feel? We saw how the mental image of me, ego, looks like. We felt the fear as energy, the physical energy that moved as sensation. And you just looked at letting go of control. How letting go of control releases you. The pain, the agony, whatever you're carrying. So these things are coming to you because you are getting into the state of awareness. The more and more you're aware, slowly things start to transform for you. Right? So don't think that I am gonna be able to go destroy my ego. You cannot destroy the ego. You have to understand that. It takes different forms. It comes back. You need ego to survive in the world. But what you do not need is that mental image that you carry as a concept all the time. Whenever you become aware, your ego dissolves. Always remember that. It is the awareness that dissolves. Right? So awareness of ego, important. The key main points, right? Awareness of the ego, seeing your fear clearly. Seeing your fear clearly. Whenever there is a fear that comes your way, you got to see through it and letting go of control. Like the way we looked at ego, fear, control, suffering. When there is no fear, ego has nothing to protect. That's truth. When you are having some fear, then you have something to protect. When you have that something to protect, your ego comes out. So truth breaks any fear that you have. That's why truth is very important. So awareness helps you to build not just in the mental, physical space, it also on the emotional space, it helps you. So practice. So it's like, you're not trying to get there all the time. You're just trying to remember. Awareness is not a practice. Don't think awareness, okay, I'm going to practice awareness. No, awareness is not a practice. Awareness is something you remember because you are that. You just remember. You just come to your, it's like, just come to your senses kind of a thing, right? Just remember that you have to be aware. When you are aware, those things don't bother you. So now let's go little further into it, right? So for you to reflect on it for today's session, right? What ego did you discover? What fear was driving you? Make a note of it, right? Just in your mental space, just jot it down. What am I trying to control in my life? These are very important questions to reflect on your day's progress, right? What ego did I discover today? What fear is driving it? What am I trying to control? Life. We say life is happening. You don't need to control it. Just be aware of it. But still, we have so much to control. Why? We don't have an answer. So as you become more aware, ego cannot coexist where your awareness is there. Whenever you are disturbed, remember this one thing. Whenever you are disturbed, no matter what may be the situation, wherever you are, ask the question right then and there, what am I trying to protect? Ask the question. It's very important. When you ask the question, now you are ready to release it. Otherwise, you are holding it. You're protecting it. The moment you protect it, you carry it. The moment you carry it, you go through it. And then every day, ask yourself, what can I let go today? What control can I let go today? Right? Fear is your physical sensation plus the story that your mental space, the thought story that you are creating, that is fear. So feel the fear in the body when that is coming to you. When you start to observe your fear, you feel that in your body and drop your story. The combination of that is fear. Drop the story, whatever it is, whatever this mental space is creating that story of me version, just drop it. And feel that fear. Okay, I got this fear. Where it is going? It's like, in my chest, in my, which part I'm feeling it. Just follow it, the sensation. Then you will loosen it. Awareness will weaken the whole process. Right? So don't look at this as an intellectual exercise, right? Even though you're trying to understand and have that direct experience, you might want to look at it from a truth perspective. You might want to look at it from the awareness perspective as to, this is how these things can be taken out. We are adding a lot of things on a daily basis to our image of me or I. And what we are trying to do here is we are letting go all of that. Whatever you have added, whatever you're bringing on, everything is getting letting go here. So that you become the real you. The image of the real I or the real you is what you are trying to get to. It's very important that you recognize that. If you see that I still have to get something, I still have to go grab it, I still have to make this work, get that thing for me, it is not that. The purpose is not that. Purpose is for you to recognize that whatever you are holding on to, you should let go. Only in the letting go, healing happens. Right? So remember, ego is not a one-time thing that you remove. Ego is something that will come back. It will reappear in new forms. It takes automatic shapes and all, right? Don't think that I'm letting go is not like, it's like, hey, am I being too passive, right? What you are trying to do when you're trying to let it go is, it means that there is no inner resistance that you are building. while you're letting it go. You're just flowing it, saying that yes, it's over, let it go. Right? And what happens when you observe your sensation is, when you look at your particular sensation, like my leg is paining, when you put your attention and you observe that sensation, you feel like that sensation is going up. You may feel temporarily that it is like, this fear is going up, or this fear is getting stronger, or this pain is getting increased. But that is not what it is. What that is, it is actually releasing. When it releases, it has little bit of an uncomfortable state that you have to just be patient to be there. Then it will release. Right? And obviously, control is something that will always be there. You must fix this. I must do this. I need this. I'm going to do a session. I have only 10 people. Why? Right? I cannot be here if I don't have 100. Wow. Control, right? That those things will be there all the time. But you must start to release it. You must trust the system, trust the process, that you don't have to worry about it. Whatever needs to come your way will come your way. Awareness is the key. Right, so we'll open it up for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Like, very well explained about the ego and letting go of fear and control with awareness. I'm sure like our life will be like before and after this workshop. I'm sure everybody are experiencing the same way I'm doing. So it's very well, it's going to be very useful for all of us. Thank you again. Yeah. Masters, anybody having questions, please raise your hands. Yeah, Lakshmi, go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, we have to let go of the ego, which is important in life also. How to differentiate between the normal which is needed for survival, or the like fear of control, like that. How to differentiate those two?
See, you will know when you are controlling, right? Because you are starting to become uncomfortable in situations. You're starting to patternize things in your life, and you start to see either anxiety is cutting you, or stress is adding it to you, or you're getting frustrated, you're getting too fast tired. All these symptoms are helping you to understand there is something is going on within you that is not in line.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you start to recognize it, just take a pause, like we did yesterday, right? Just take a pause and look at it, then you will know it. See, the taking pause is the most important thing, right? Because in our busy life, we don't have time to even look for 1 second within us as to what is happening, right? But when you recognize it, then you come into that awareness. See, there are two things here. One is that you take a pause to recognize it. And the two, when I recognize it, how do I release it? The release has to happen naturally too. You cannot force it. So when you recognize it, now you know that, okay, this anxiety is coming to me because I am holding on to this. Now I should not be holding on to this. So what do I need to do? I need to just come out of that space. Let me just become more aware. And then whenever that is coming my way, I'm going to start to observe it. Okay. And then let the system take care of itself. Then what you will see is, in 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, that anxiety, what you used to carry, that stress that you used to level up yourself, you will see it shift in it. Then yeah, it is working.
So can I ask you further? So it's by being aware of your breath and how you're feeling this physical symptoms, like the sensations, that's how we are becoming aware. Is that what?
No, awareness is basically whatever that uncomfortable state you have. It can be
Okay.
physical, it can be emotional, it can be mental. It doesn't matter. Whatever
Okay.
it may be, right?
Okay.
You just, the triggering can be anything, and then recognition can be anywhere you recognize, you know. See, when like stress comes to you, stress happens in the there is a symptom of stress in physical, all emotional, all mental. Any plane that you are able to catch hold of it, you know that, okay, I need something going on that is really causing a lot of this stress. I need to, you know, cool down. That's the important thing.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Navya, ma'am, go ahead.
Yeah. So you said like to observe where the fear is going in the body, right? So when we, I mean, do we actually, I mean, right now when you said I couldn't feel anywhere, but probably when I'm at that moment, right? When we have any fear or anything happens, that instantly you're telling us to take a pause and then observe the body where the fear is actually happening. So if we don't recognize anything, or if we recognize, how do we release it? I mean, like you're telling to take a breath.
Just observe it. The observing itself will release it, right? See, the stronger the fear, the greater the sensation, right? You have a very negative thing came in, that negative thing have a corresponding effect on the physical level. There is a heavy sensation comes up, right? If you are able to observe that sensation, now you're releasing it. Whatever you observe will transform. You just have to observe it, that's it. And recognize that that is fear, right? So most of the time we get carried away. We are in the moments, our mind is not letting us to be in the present, right? Mind is always in the past or future. We get carried away in the moment, right? That's why it requires a little bit of a conscious practice, right? That practice is not about, I want to practice awareness. That practice is about to remember to come to awareness. Just make a note every 2 hours or 4 hours in a day. I want to bring to that awareness. I want to come to that awareness. I want to be in the moment. I want to see how this movement is, moment by moment. How many of us are really spending time to recognize moment by moment, right? It doesn't happen. So that awareness, whatever you're trying to bring in, that itself will solve the problem. It's not like after awareness you need to do something. Awareness is nothing but you're observing that thing as a third party, with no judgments, no comments, no control, nothing, right? You're just letting it go and saying, I trust the system, I'm there. That's it. And that's what you're doing, right? In all these exercises, that awareness is what dissolves and transforms that pain or sensation or feeling or, whatever that mental space, whatever is going on.
When you observe like a third party, you might feel, but when you again come back, it will be the same, right?
No, it will be. So it will take a couple of iterations, right? That's why. But you should know that every time you observe, you are weakening it, right? Every single time you're observing that particular incident or even whatever is that biological thing happening in your system, you're weakening that. That is important. That's why awareness is important.
Awareness of that, what the fear is, awareness of what that is causing us.
Right.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
So any more questions, masters? Looks like we don't have any.
Sir, I have a question. So,
Masters,
we are
can you
talking
please raise your hand? Who is talking? We can't see.
Sweta
sorry.
madam.
Yes,
Sweta,
sorry.
madam. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. My question is, so we are talking about the thoughts, the emotional state right now, but what about any fear of objects?
See, why would that be different? Anything, right? Anything has to come into the mental space, right?
But we keep seeing it each time, then how? I mean, it's kind of little difficult.
Instead of a thought, you have an object, right? Even that object has to come as a thought within you, right? Otherwise, how does that create a fear in you? If I'm afraid to go in the darkness, I have to imagine the darkness, or I'm actually in the darkness, right? Where I'm actually feeling it, right? So in both cases, it has to be inside of you, and when you become aware of it, that's why it is not a what we are trying to do here is we are trying to become aware and trust the system that it is gonna take care of itself. But what it is also doing is it is also giving you this. That's why the knowledge is more important, right? Knowledge is helping you to understand that this concept of my me version, what I have put it out there, is not real. It's not reality. Everyone else in the life, everyone else is able to go into the dark space. I am not able to do it. So is the problem dark space, or is the problem within me? And when you become aware of it with the understanding, and you say that, okay, I no longer have to fear it because this is just happening here, because everyone else is able to do it, I'm not able to do it, then you will release it. You have to be in that awareness for a couple of times for it to weaken, because mentally you are like you are stuck with it for a long time. You got to release it.
Okay. Thank you, Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had two more questions, sir, here. Unmuting Gayatri ma'am. Gayatri ma'am, go ahead, please.
We have like thousands of emotions, maybe for so many years. We have been like there are so many emotions that are stored in our body, like, so it's not going to go away, all these emotions, like one or two sittings. We have to like kind of constantly every day, the more and more we practice, the more and more we observe, and we are weakening it.
Correct. That's why meditation is important. Every single time you sit in meditation and you become aware, you're weakening your system. You're letting go all that baggage that you brought in with you. Right now, we don't even know how much baggage you carry. You release all that baggage when you sit patiently in meditation. It will release everything. Whatever you carry in your samskara, heart level, you don't even know what you carry inside you. Right? All that will come into your mind as thoughts, and they will release. That's why meditation is a beautiful tool to let go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have one more question, sir, from Anu ma'am, unmuting. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, Gayatri Garu covered one of my question. I had two questions. So one question is related to the same. Yeah, been having these emotions in just one or two sittings, it might not go, but we just need to practice, is it, as part of the meditation? Is that what, right?
The practice, exactly, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, as soon as I get that memory or something, it's hard to come back. I mean, I'm trying to be aware and all that, but it's hard. The fear or anxiety, it keeps sticking there.
Correct. It's a practice. So
yeah.
Today, what you have done is a surface scratch. You understood the process. You understood how it works. How do I recognize it? How that is becoming a pattern? How my sensations in my system are getting when I am having that very thing, fear, control, and all that. And how do I feel when I release my control? That's what we experienced, right? So,
and sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another one that I want to ask is these patterns, like whether it's some negative patterns or something which I'm trying to break, and I see it keeps repeating. I accept it's repeating and I'm in the aware, but I just want to break it, I just don't want that to repeat. But I know it's coming, it's there. I could recognize that.
So you were joining all the sessions yesterday,
yeah,
the day before?
Yeah, I mean, I missed a couple, but I'm listening to those sessions again.
Yeah, I think you should listen to this. So we have covered at length some of these things. Listen to the sessions, right? You'll get more insights as to how you need to practice and how you need to do that. Breaking the pattern is the most important thing, right? Awareness breaks the pattern.
Okay.
But don't expect that the moment I became aware, you have been carrying something as a trauma for 30 years. I'm just giving an example. You brought that for 30 years. You have been carrying something in you. And then the moment you say that, okay, I'm aware now, let go, it is not going to go. It is going to do it because you have mechanically allowed it to happen, as like your entire system is autopiloted right now. It's doing on its own thing without you being there. So once you start to recognize it and becoming more and more aware, the awareness will give more energy so that the pattern can be broken. You have to break the pattern for the routine to fall off, right? So that's what you're trying to do. Because the more and more, whenever you get that thing, you become aware, it loosens strength. It becomes bigger. Like that couple of times when you do it, you will totally let go of it in a very natural way, in a permanent way. This trauma, whatever you carried for 30 years, will be gone from your lifetime and the coming lifetimes. It is for eternity, you are done with it because awareness is the permanent fix.
And do not react, do not respond.
If you react it, then it's in the mental space. There is no awareness, right?
It's again coming back.
You're in the mental space. So,
okay. Thank you, Anil.
Thank you.
Yeah, no more questions, Anil, so we can start the meditation.
All right, please sit very comfortably, masters. Let us bring our attention to your normal, natural breath. Take off your glasses. Meditation is the path. Awareness is the result or goal. Just sit, close your eyes, bring your attention to your normal, natural breath.